What's going on, everybody? It's Bob Loud, and in today's video I'm be showing you how to duplicate your Collectrons in any camp item in Fallout 76. For instance, if you follow me all the way to the end, then you should be able to build something like this, where a turret tower, or you can just build extra coffees if you wanted to. The first thing that you're going to want to do is find an open area where you could build a decent sized structure in. Then on one side of your camp, preferably more towards the middle but on the very far of one side, place a foundation and then place your camp module somewhere towards the middle on that edge, like so. Once you do that, place two foundations on the side of that wooden foundation that has your module on it. Then you're going to take another set of foundations and put it about in the middle of that foundation on the outside, and you're going to go 6 down with it on both sides. Now you're going to make your way to your middle foundation that has your camp module on it with a switch that you will add a little bit later in the video. And you're going to locate a rug, preferably this blue rug that I found on here, but it could be any rug that stacks. Place the rug halfway off the foundation and then look for the spike board trap. Place the trap in one of the corners as much off of the rug as you can, but still on top of the rug. Then place another rug on top of the spike board trap. After that, step back a little bit and start placing rugs about halfway on top of each other, all the way till you get to the very far back where your foundations end at. When you're finished with that, then on this long stretch of road we made with these rugs, you want to take a couple of these spike board traps, and you want to take 3 different spike board traps and place them evenly across this little lane here, but you want to put them on the very far edge like you see me doing. Once you have one of these spike boards placed on the edge, you're going to go back to the rug and place a rug on the very top of this, just in the same position as the rug underneath it. And just so you remember what goes on top of this, we're going to be putting a fountain on top of this, so you want to make sure that there's enough room on that rug on the top for this fountain to fit on. And if you followed me this far into the video, you gotta repeat the steps I just did 2 more times so that we have 2 more stacks of fountains, except they're not complete stacks, they're just a single fountain in that stack, but they're just there so we know we need to put fountains in there. And the reason we're making this contraption to put the fountain on instead of just putting the fountain on the bottom rug is because once we start actually putting a bunch of fountains in one stack, because you got to put so many until it says you can't put any more in one stack. But the reason we do this is because when we move on to the next stack, the game is going to get so laggy, so when you flip this spike board up, it will actually cancel out the lag. So you would need to flip it back down when you want to have your lag camp active again. Here's what your end result's going to look like, except we don't have all the fountains we need in each stack. To fix that, we're going to need to take some flame traps and point them out the fountains and break them that way. And we could also have a buddy here help us break them, which will be a lot faster. But if you want to do this solo, you're going to need these anyway, so it's a good idea to already have them set up. Once you have these flamers set up on these fountains, you're just going to want to spin a fountain around until you're able to place it and place it down, and it will get really laggy because this is going to be causing a lot of server lag. Eventually you will see that it will say that you can no longer place any objects in this area, and that's what you want to get to on every single stack. So we have a total of 3 stacks, and you want to see that 3 different times on each one of those stacks. When you finish one turret stack, then you want to make sure that you hit that switch that we made right there, because that will flip it up and make the lag on that stack no longer be any lag there. So then you can move to the next stack and then to the next stack and do all that, and then flip them all back down so that you can have your lag camp working again. After you're finished with the fountains, then you want to make 2 complete stacks of basketball hoops. And what I mean by that is it says on one stack that you can't place any more items in that stack, so then you make another stack and it says the same thing. And I highly suggest you to have a friend help you, because I seem to have a lot more trouble with flamethrower traps. But just have a friend help you do this, and then throw some flamethrower traps over here with a button in case these randomly appear and you need to break them again for the lag camp, and you should have some that ends up looking somewhat like this. Well, I'll say we're about midway into the video, at least to my liking. Right now I just taught you how to build the lag camp, so that's the lag camp. I'm getting ready to teach you how to build the camp that's actually going to be able to duplicate your Collectrons. We're essentially making a ghost camp, and then we're going to steal that ghost camp, which is pretty badass in my opinion. We're basically the Ghostbusters. Right now, as I'm speaking, only 8 of these Collectrons are real and the rest of them are fake, but we can actually steal them and code them to be real just by doing a simple little glitch with that lag camp we just built. What you're going to want to do next is have 2 camps that are cleared, and 1 camp we're going to use the first time and then you won't have to use it again, and then the other camp is the camp that you're going to want everything on. So the camp that I'm going to be messing with right now is going to be the starter camp that we won't need again after the first time we do this. With those 2 clear camps that you're going to use, the one that you're going to put your stuff on and the one that's just going to be our startup, I would make sure that you put both their camp modules next to each other. Then on our startup camp, place a wooden foundation, then place some stairs and 6 floors just like I do. Now place a Collectron, any Collectron that you want, on top of this building. After that, you're going to want to throw a letter on this, and I would specifically use a B just for Bob Loud, you know, to support your favorite YouTuber. I would slap a B on there just because it needs a B just so it can be blueprinted. Now take it off of the building, place it on the ground, move your camp, and then put it back the way we just had it, just so it can be blueprinted. And you want to make sure that it was able to be a blueprint. After making that build, we're going to go ahead and go back to our lag camp. When you're at your lag camp, you want to make sure it looks somewhat similar to mine, and you want to make sure that all your basketball hoops are gone, and if 1 or 2 are left, that's okay, and if 1 or 2 statues are left, that's okay, but you want to have majority of all stacks completely gone as much as you can. Once you've completely burned all your hoops and your statues and you made it to this part, your game should be lagging pretty bad, and so what we're going to do is go to our first switch or our first spike board that we placed, and we're going to activate it, and when you activate that, you will notice that all the lag will eventually go away. That's because that's like a lag switch, so when you push it back down, it will make all the lag come back after you broke all the fountains. That we're also going to go over to our camp module as fast as we can, and we're going to spam to repair it. Once you see server not responding, we're going to go to our camp slots and go to the camp slot that we just put that whole setup in with the Collectron, but we're not going to activate it yet until we see this screen that says the repair cost. This won't cost you anything, but once you see that, you're going to spam the activate camp button for 15 seconds. After 15 seconds, you're going to go to your friends list, and then you're going to go join a friends lobby. When you go to join a friends lobby, before you go to actually join them, you still need to wait 15 seconds on that too, so you need a 30-second timer once you see all them items you need to repair. This won't let you join the friends lobby completely because it will kick you, and if it kicks you and it says you got disconnected, then you know for sure that you possibly did this right. After you got disconnected, go back to your private world, because you should be doing this in a private world. If not, you run the chance of getting banned, and you're going to be lagging out the server too. Now that you're back in your private world, you might be spawned in a random location, because this doesn't always spawn you on that camp that we were trying to switch into, which would have made it a ghost camp. But the camp that you were trying to make a ghost camp, just go to it and you'll notice there should be 2 Collectrons, because there should be a camp directly underneath it. You can't exactly see it, but there's 2 Collectrons there, and we had 1 there before. You'll see when you go to it if you did it right. Once you've confirmed that you got 2 Collectrons, you need to activate the camp that you want to have all your Collectrons on, which should be in the same area. On that camp that you're supposed to put your Collectrons on, we didn't have anything built there, and you'll notice this building's still there, so that for sure is a ghost building. We're going to be able to grab that Collectron off of there and keep it. In order to do this, you're going to need to enter the build mode from your camp module. After that, you need to take a foundation and put it on one of the corners of this foundation that has the stairs on it, and because it's not a part of our camp, we are trying to make it a part of the camp, and so we're going to have to basically move this foundation and line it up with one of these corners just like so. That way we can put 2 foundations off of this new foundation, because it won't go on this ghost camp that we made. In other words, the ghost camp, which is this blue foundation, nothing will snap to it, no foundation. It might snap to it, but you won't be able to place it on there. So with this new building, this regular wooden foundation, we got to build off of it. So we got to kind of trick the game to make it think that it belongs to this camp when it doesn't. Messing around with it for a little bit, you'll see that when I try to snap to this blue foundation, it won't let me. But eventually, once you have that one wooden foundation in just the exact corner as if it was part of that foundation, you will be able to snap one of the foundations to the edge of it like this. And once you're at this step, you basically want to try and get a nerve foundation down, but if you can and you've actually tried for a while, then just place one wall on this foundation. Now if you notice, we're able to place the wall both ways. That is good. We want the wall facing inwards towards us though, the inside, like as if we were inside the house this way, because it's going to think that it's part of our camp, which is going to give us the Collectron in this building, in our camp. And you want to make sure that it's a doorway. When you're done with that, you need to delete all the foundations except that blue one in my case. And thank God for friends, because my buddy was actually able to place a foundation to help me get a wall on the other side. Just being able to have two doorways just like this makes it better, because the game is going to register this as your building, while one gives you, let's say, a 50% chance, this gives you more of a 99% chance. Once you just got walls on that foundation, then you need to run as far as you can away from your campsite and just pick back up your camp module and place it back down. Then go inside your build menu to stored, and you will see that you have a blueprint with a Collectron on top of it, and you can also place another Collectron down. So basically we just duplicated our Collectrons. Now we no longer need that camp we just had. Since in this camp we got two Collectrons, we're going to want to use this to dupe with, so we're going to activate that lag camp. We're going to try and spawn in this camp instead of that other camp we had, because we no longer need that because it just has one Collectron. This one has two, and if every time you keep putting the Collectrons on here, you'll keep doubling it up, so it'll go 2, then 4, then 8, then 16. Now that you have both your Collectrons like that, we're going to go back to our lag camp. So you're going to need to activate your lag camp, and we're going to fast travel to it. When you're back at your lag camp, make sure everything is broken, and if it is, then we're ready to do it again. What you're going to do is repair the spike board trap. Then you're going to spam A on repair all structures until you see server not responding. Once you see server not responding, you're going to go down to your camps and you're going to go to the camp where we had those two Collectrons at. You're going to just chill where it says activate camp. You're not going to hit activate camp until you see repair all. Then you're just going to start spamming your activate camp button for 15 seconds and your head count for 15 seconds. And then after 15 seconds, you're just going to back out of that and you're going to go to your friends list and you're going to just join a friend. But instead of joining a friend right away, you're going to count 15 seconds again when you're over in this menu. You're going to join your friend, and then you shouldn't be able to join your friend. It should disconnect you. And then you're just going to join the world back, and your camp there should be ghosted. And you're going to do the same thing we did in step 1, except one thing. Once you see about 4 Collectrons like this, that means there's a ghost camp underneath, because we only got 2 Collectrons that we own, and then there's 2 more underneath. You're just going to want to join a friend, and then once you're in the friends world, all you're going to need to do is take your Collectrons off the building and then move your camp module, and what this is going to do is store your Collectrons as a blueprint. As you can see, when I move my camp module, I don't want to move it too far, but I did get a blueprint of both of these Collectrons, and I can place it back down if I wanted to. And then you're going to join back your private world, and I would typically have a buddy in your private world, that way it doesn't say build a new world and then take away your ghost camp. When you go to join your private world, you'll notice that that ghost camp is still there, so then you could do what we did in step 1 to try and claim that building inside of your camp that now has blueprinted Collectrons inside of it. So then you can make this also be a blueprint that has these 2 Collectrons on top of it, then put those Collectrons that are blueprinted on top of this blueprint of these 2 Collectrons. Now how we're going to get this ghost camp is by making sure this floor is about equal with it in level, and we're going to try to trick the game once again to think that this belongs to that camp we just spawned in that other world and made all those Collectrons blueprints. Once you find the right spot for that foundation, once again you'll be able to place another foundation besides it towards that blue foundation, and then we're just going to place a wall that has a doorway in it. That way we can delete this foundation underneath it and then turn that doorway back into a wall that is facing us, because we want them to think that this camp owns it so that it's ours. Now you just need to run a little bit away and pick up your camp module and place it back down. You will notice that you will have all of them Collectrons that were blueprinted, and you will have that big building that has those Collectrons on it blueprinted also. All you gotta do now is place that building with the Collectrons on it, and then place your Collectrons on top of it, and then just do the same thing we did in step 1 all over again. And if you need to, you can increase the space to throw more Collectrons on here, but like I said, every time you're doing this, you're doubling it every time you do this. So it goes 2, 4, then 8, then 16, then on up. Okay guys, if you made it this far into the video, I really do appreciate it. You should go hit that like button, let me know what you thought about the video in the comments down below, and possibly hit that subscribe button. And you should go check out more of my content on my channel, because I do make some music, and there might be some rap music on there that you do fall in love with. And if you got any questions about today's video, please don't be scared and let me know in the comments down below. I'd even like to know how your day's been. Anyways guys, Bob Lau's gonna be coming out with more content. I'll see you in the next video.